First up in Eureka's Terror of the Fog set is number 314 in the Masters of Cinema series, The Curse of the Yellow Snake from 1963. This West German crime thriller is a pulpy film based on the 1926 Edgar Wallace novel, The Yellow Snake. It's a story of two brothers, two estranged half-brothers. We have Clifford Lynn, who arrives in London at the start after the theft of the Yellow Snake, and he is looking to be betrothed, but he doesn't really seem that interested in marriage. It's basically just the first person that he meets who he thinks that'll do, but there's a reason for that comes into it later on. And as he kind of wanders about his life, he finds that a lot of Chinese people are popping up trying to take him out throughout this.
Looking for me.
And that's when it leads to his half-brother Fing Su, who leads a cult that's determined to retrieve the idol at any cost. It's basically a power and control film between these two brothers. You have this idea of identity and heritage. You've got Clifford, kind of mixed race background that creates tension because he's allowed to move between the different worlds of the white people and of the Chinese people. You've got the idea of Feng Shu, who only gets the respect of the British people because he has money. There is something to be gleaned from working with him, and he has that kind of resentment against his brother.
He doesn't like Chinese. We don't like him.
What do you want from me?
Your life isn't worth a penny.
I mean, there's other things that make Feng Su a particularly evil person. The cult, his willingness to kill people, his willingness to do any kind of nefarious task, it makes him the bad guy throughout this one. When you look at the kind of Asian aspect of this, there is an almost fear of the unknown, where they take ancient Chinese mysticism and turn it into something terrifying. It's terrifying because it's unknown. It carries these supernatural abilities. It carries these mysteries of the Orient along with them. Things that are terrifying to these people who've been stuck in their own little bubble for the longest time.
I have nothing to sell, especially at night. What do you want? Why are you here?
There is a certain pulpy nature to the film. Although it has these dueling brothers, it has theft, it has murder at its heart, it has people who are hidden in plain sight and some reveals later on that are kind of interesting. But there is a mismatch here of material to the finished product. There are things that work and work really well within the film. Some of the set pieces, some of the build-up and tension to these action set pieces are really good, but then there are some things that feel misplaced. There is a character that's used as pretty much comedic foil, and it never quite lands properly. Always feels a little bit too, look at me, look how funny this situation is, and as it goes on, it becomes more and more grating of a character. In fact, he gets the final word in the movie and breaks the fourth wall, staring at the audience, telling us something, and it just feels out of place for the story that we have just spent time going through.
The world would be a prison if impudence were a crime, my friend.
Looking into the other Wallace adaptations and the ones that come out at the similar time, this seems to be one of the ones that just kind of eked by. It wasn't lauded as a great film. It wasn't a terrible one. It just seems like an average adaptation, and to be honest, it comes across in the film itself. The performances aren't great. The characters aren't fully fledged. Some of the tonality of it needed to be thinned out and adjusted to make it fit what it was trying to get to. But it's an interesting lead into this box. I'm hoping we're going to grow and get some better movies along the way. As this is the first disc in this set, let's jump in and have a look at the extras. And the disc for The Curse of the Yellow Snake and the Strangler of Blackmoor Castle. First up, we have the wonderful What is a Crimmy? an introduction by Tim Lucas that runs for 5 minutes 51 seconds and basically explains what a crimey actually is, and how it's a almost twin of a giallo of sorts, and what kind of is the basis of those type of movies. And to be honest, it was a really interesting and exciting extra. Made me excited for what's to come. The Curse of the Yellow Snake, with an introduction by Tim Lucas, which runs at 12 minutes 26 seconds, talking about how this was the first of the Wallace adaptations, what brought everything together, the almost casting that possibly could have happened, which is an interesting note as well. You can have the film without introduction, with the English language dub, and an audio commentary by Kim Newman and Barry Forshaw. Next, we have The Strangler of Blackmoor Castle, with an introduction by Tim Lucas, which runs at 10 minutes 5 seconds, without the introduction, with the English language dub, an audio commentary by Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rigby. Then we have lone introductions for the two films, and The Curse of the Yellow Snake German trailer. That's the extras for disc 1. So there we have it. The Curse of the Yellow Snake is the first movie in this Edgar Wallace set, Terror in the Fog. I'm eager to move on to the next film, and I will absolutely be back with my review of that pretty soon. I'd love to know your thought on this film. Have you picked up this set? What did you think of this initial movie within it? Are you watching them as the set has laid them out, or are you just jumping back and forth doing your own thing? Always curious about that. I will work systematically through the set, but that's just me. Drop me a comment in the comment box below. We can have a chit chat about this. As always, there is more content up there. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com always, in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.